weeks of touring and performing, tweaking and fine-tuning, ending here in Orlando on a hot August night. Thousands of young people converge on the Citrus Bowl for the Summer Music Game, the Drum Corps International World Championship. It's both a musical and choreographic art form, laden with the excitement of competitive sport. It's athleticism and teamwork, grace and poise. It's drum and bugle corps, and young people at their best.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to DCI's Silver Anniversary Soiree here in Orlando. Steve Rondinero again doing the honors, joined by my compatriots, DCI's Dean of the Visual Arts, Michael Cesario, and the Doctor of Percussion, Dennis DeLucia. Gentlemen, here we are. 25 years ago, DCI's first ever championship happened in Whitewater, Wisconsin, and the scenario tonight, strangely similar.
It's almost exactly the same as it was 25 years ago, Steve. We've got 3 corps close to the top, 2 of them from California. Tonight, the Blue Devils from Concord, California, 8-time world titleists. The Santa Clara Vanguard, the only corps to make finals every single one of our 25 years. And the Power of the East, the Cadets of Bergen County, New Jersey, 6 titles under their belts, or should I say cummerbund.
Any one of those corps could take it tonight. They have been nip and tuck this last week. But, Dennis, we've got some interesting things happening below that level.
Well, you know, 25 years ago, we didn't know what was going to happen because it was the first one. We didn't know who was going to win, who was even going to make finals. This year, we've got 4 corps in the middle of the pack that have done wonderful performances all week long, and that is the Phantom Regiment, the Madison Scouts, the Cavaliers, and the Crossmen. Crossmen have come out of nowhere with an extremely exciting show.
A lot of nice jazz there. And then, Michael, underneath that, another tier of good acts fighting for place.
Amazing, amazing. This is the year they fought to get in. Really excitement.
Man, we're going to have some good programs for you, but being the 25th anniversary, we're also going to crank up the DCI time machine and pull out some vintage chestnuts from years gone by that I think you'll enjoy seeing. Dennis says we didn't know 25 years ago what was going to happen. Pretty tough to pick what's going to happen tonight, too, with these tight finishes we've had coming in.
No, you're not getting away with this. The reliable Rondo prediction.
Well, I'm going to buck the trend. Even though they took a licking in the semifinals, I'm going with Santa Clara to pull one out tonight, come from behind, and take the title. I've been wrong before, however.
Very rarely. We'll see if you're right tonight.
Well, let's crank up that time machine and give you a taste of what we have in store for you. We're going to go back to the 70s and give you a look and a listen to the British flavor of the Guardsmen from Schaumburg, Illinois. This is what 12th place looked like. So there you go, Dennis. A little jolly good sound from Britain there, 1976 version.
Great stuff.
What do you say we crank up a 1997 edition with Crown?
Postcards from Britain, the Carolina Crown.
Enjoy our first corps of the evening. Jolly good beginning to our show tonight, courtesy of Carolina Crown. It's only fitting, a city that's named after a British queen. The Corps takes us to jolly old England.
That's true. Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City. This piece is called Terpsichore, and you know, it's by Bob Margolis. It's a great, exciting piece, and what a way to open our show tonight.
And you watch something like that at home and you wonder, how in the heck do these judges assign numbers to these performances? Well, the judging system has changed dramatically over DCI's 25 years. Still based on a scale of 100 points, judges basically looking for three different things. What do the Corps do? How well do they do it? And what effect does it have?
Really, how does it grab you?
Exactly. There are 7 judges and all 3 on the field, 4 up here in the press box that have the same vantage point that we do, trying to assign numbers to all that. Dennis has somebody down on the field right now who can give us a very special perspective.
Well, thank you, Steve. That was a great explanation of the scoring system. And now here in person, the one and only Mr. Clark Williams. Clark holds a special place in Drum Corps international history in that he's the only judge who judged this year, the 25th anniversary, who also judged in the very first year in 1972. Clark, congratulations for that.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you very much.
What changes have you observed over the 25 years, especially in the visual captions?
Oh, the growth of the performer, for sure. Introducing musicality, introducing dialogue that's just so different. We're bringing the stage to the football field, and we're performing on it just wonderfully.
And why are you still involved? What attracts you to the activity after all these years?
Oh, my goodness, the growth of the performer. Simple as that. From beginning of the year to the end of the year, what they experience, what I experience through their sense of engagement, and this right here. Just everybody feels it. You walk away with that feeling. It's very enriching.
Boy, I remember when Clark Williams was out on the field judging when I was a kid marching.
He judged our first championship, and he judged last year's finals. He's been around for as long as I can remember, helping those kids out. You know, there was a time when he was judging, say, 1979, when the Cavaliers were on their way up the ladder.
Let's crank up the time machine and show you what 11th place looked like in 79. Boy, those Cavaliers sure have a different look today.
They sure do. And 1992 and 95 brought them championships. So I'm happy to see them in the thick of things every year.
Somebody else has changed their look over the years, but they've stayed true to that big band sound, the Blue Coats from Canton, Ohio.
Wow. Harlem Nocturne tonight in a new way by Doug Thrower and Matt Savage.
of course history on an anniversary year like this, too. Founded back in '72 by the Canton Police Boys Club, and look what they've become today.
Hence the name Blue Coat.
We're going to give you the time machine view. What do you say we do a real time warp? You talk about contrast. This is what 10th place looked like in 1978.
The North Star, the chrome wall.
North Star, those guys from Massachusetts did it the old-fashioned way in '78. Louder, faster, higher. The Magic, by comparison, this year, do it the newfangled way.
Well, it's all theater. It's all staged in a way that brings the excitement to life. Tonight, a parade in New Orleans, the old quarter, the French Quarter. It's a way of looking at Little Liza Jane as well as a Bourbon Street Crawl by Dr. Robert Smith.
Let's go to Nolans with the Magic.
Jane, good time had by all with the Orlando Magic tonight.
It sure is, you know. Those wacky costumes by Mike Rayford really reflect the different instrumental colors we heard tonight.
You know, Cowboys like call themselves American team. The Atlanta Braves like call themselves American team. Drum Corps has its own America's team.
It's the Troopers from Casper, Wyoming.
Crank up the time machine to the year 1985. We'll give you a look at what ninth place looked like.
The Troopers, America's Corps. Jim Jones' first touring corps. Boy, they have great traditions, but there's a team that has much in common with them.
The Denver Blue Knights,
Founded in the Rocky Mountains just about the same time.
1957. And where Troopers have tradition, Denver's tradition is innovation.
and tonight we hear the music of Ben-Hur. The Blue Knights doing what they do best.
It sure is. Innovation is one of their trademarks, and here's a case where they've got an innovative program. Artists in residence. In this case, painter Brenda Vang. She's done everything for them, painting each one of those flags individually.
It's a nice trademark.
It sure is, and it gives artists a chance to instruct in drum corps.
Well, we've had some artists make names for themselves in the music field. You know, at any 25-year reunion, be it high school or whatever, it's always fun to
See how your classmates and colleagues are doing. Well, some former drum corps players are making it big in the Big Apple music scene.
From a stadium parking lot to the hallowed Met. From the field to the studio. Drumming your way to Broadway. Or hanging with Dave and the gang. These old drum corps guys are doing okay. Jeff Kivett riveted audiences as a soloist for the Hawthorne Muchachos in the early 70s. He proudly donned the uniform again for DCI's silver anniversary ceremony. The face has a few more wrinkles, the bugle is now a trumpet, but the musical passion still runs deep. Instead of fields and stadiums, it's studios and stages now, producing music for and playing with the likes of Vanessa Williams. Jeff Kivett says he owes it all to drum corps, even when sitting in the producer's chair.
Where did I learn how to do this? And I just laughed, and I thought about how many other people, either Broadway conductors, or I could handle all the information that I'm processing at this moment. And I laughed. I was at a loss to think of people that I really could count on to do it. And I realized that I learned everything I needed to know to be successful at what I'm doing, the producing, the clinics, the instruction, the performance, everything I needed to know. I had the opportunity to learn from my experience with the Hawthorne Muchachos.
This is where trumpet player Peter Bond works, New York's Metropolitan Opera. That is, most of the time. Here's where Peter likes to spend his summers, giving back to the Phantom Regiment where he cut his musical teeth in the mid-70s. Drum corps training has helped Peter make it in the highly competitive world of classical music.
My drum corps experience paid off in some kind of oblique ways. I mean, it's not Tanglewood, it's not a musical conservatory, and I didn't go to conservatories, yet at the auditions, I prevailed over a lot of my competitors because I had this bulldog-like tenacity that I got from drum corps, which means you practice and you practice and you practice until you get it, and you don't stop until you get it. And I really think that has made a tremendous difference. And so there's a certain amount of perfectionism, or, if you will, commitment to excellence.
Bayonne's Bridgman turned out some fantastic drum lines in the late 70s and early 80s. Tommy Igoe's hands were flying in the tenor section, learning techniques that serve him well today.
Rudimentally, drum corps is, without a doubt, the most demanding thing a drummer can do.
Tommy is presently playing with Disney's Lion King as they hone the show for Broadway.
The similarities between putting a drum corps show together and a Broadway show together are unbelievably similar. There's a lot of tweaking. There's a lot of experimentation. There's like this, hate that, move this, do that. Boy, sounds very familiar. Let me tell you. To be 15 and it's 110 in Alabama and in the middle of a parking lot.
A few blocks from Broadway, former Garfield cadet Al Chez toils nightly on national TV. He's Paul Schaefer's trumpet man in the David Letterman Band. Guess where Chez built up his chops.
The drum corps experience is there's not many activities that you can get the feeling that you get from drum and bugle corps. There's, you know, just the applause factor, the people that appreciate what you're doing, the feeling of being part of a group or a whole striving for the same perfection. It's a beautiful thing. You can't, the only way to describe it is by doing it.
Well, we've got some high achievers here in the drum corps field. Still gives you goosebumps to see Jeff Kivett out there in that Muchacho uniform.
Doesn't it, though? You know what's amazing is every one of our years has had some amazing soloists and some amazing solo work.
And great innovation.
That's for sure. One of the things that I always think of when I think of innovation is the Crossmen. Here's a chance to look at 1980 in what we call the Time Machine.
We've got got the 1997 edition of the Glassman from Toledo, Ohio on the field with uniforms designed by one Michael Cesario.
One of my favorites because it's for the Age of Gold and all Bizet show. Here's the 1997 Glassman.